So the paper that I wrote is an abridged version of my honours thesis, which was written 2 years ago, and it aimed to, I guess, synchronize a study of macroeconomic trends in platinum and worker organization in the industry. So I was looking at how the industry has developed since 1994 and how its ownership has changed. And my intention was to show how these broader economic and political forces have affected organizing on the ground. And with that, I tried to track the rise and fall of the NUM, the National Union of Mine Workers. And I was hoping that through that, there could be a bit more historical context added to the other stuff that's going on. Because I think most of the discussion thus far has been somewhat ahistorical, sort of sociological, economic cross sections that don't take into account like wider trends. So I think that was my point. And in so doing, you obviously touch on a whole broad range of things like the terrible living conditions in the industry, the desperation of the people that live there. And I think the presentation highlighted some of those as well. I mean, you have a lot of people in the media and some commentators referring to the Marikana moment, and I think it's certainly an important part of post-apartheid South Africa's history. I think what interests me the most is that it's kind of necessitated at the very least some kind of reflection about the economic path that was followed, whether the really neoliberal regime that we're in at the moment was the right one. And by the same token, I think people are starting to think about what it takes to kind of organize workers in a different context to apartheid and what building worker solidarity means. And I don't think that process of reflection would have happened without something that drastic. In terms of what I would hope for from the commission, I didn't. It's not really my field of expertise, so I don't want to speculate. But at the very least, I would hope that there's a political will to follow up on whatever is recommended. I'm sure it'll be recommended that at least some heads in the police roll, and my hope is that sort of politicking in the ANC doesn't obstruct that. And I think, and I know the terms of reference of phase 2 of the commission was scaled down a little bit, but I still think there will be some kind of substantial recommendations about the broader context and what needs to be done. And I hope we've seen through the World Cup and lots of other things that when government has political will, they can actually get things done. And my hope is that what happened was serious enough for that to be the case here. In terms of the economic side of things, particularly with like the conduct of Lonman and the companies, it seems to me that they've been pretty meticulous. They really grilled them if you saw it, and I think there was a fair amount of investigation of living conditions as well. Over here in the one talk, one of the miners did say that the commissioners didn't come underground to really experience what it was like, and perhaps they could be faulted. But I mean, it seemed to me, from the little I know about it, to be quite a thorough and very, very open process in that respect. So I hope they did.